welcome to a special movie edition of the Haven't Seen or Heard podcast. All right, we're talking today about Batman.
1966.
Whatever just happened. Directed by Leslie H. Martinson. Household name.
Yep. I'm sure he produced so much more.
Starring
Adam West
and
Burt Ward.
Burt Ward is the first full-length adaptation of this character.
Origin story. The origin story of all origin stories of Batman.
Man, the
What do you think about
not right.
this being the foundation of which Ben Affleck has played Batman?
I don't know. I haven't watched Ben Affleck play Batman.
I haven't either, but I feel like it's come full circle. Dude, so my first research of this, of my two things that I researched, was I wanted to know if it was produced as a comedy or if it was just unintentionally just that shitty. And I in Google search, like I said, was 1996 or 1966 Batman, and then the rest of it was filled in a comedy from Google. So not the first person to have thought that.
Something's happening.
There we go. No, it's good.
Yeah, this question is apparently common.
Yeah. So I took way more notes for this tonight than I have with previous podcasts we've done. My first note is Commodore Schmidlap is played by Reginald Benny or Denny or something, but I just thought it was so great. His name's Reginald. Like, who's named Reginald anymore?
Commodore.
Commodore Schmidlap, of course. Yeah.
First of all, I want to get into the very beginning of this movie.
Okay.
I hate reading at the beginning of movies.
Well, it was like there was a lot of stylistic, which I'm sure at the time was like high quality, like cutting edge technology of people running away with shadows and spotlights chasing them.
Yeah, but I don't need to read like 2 cards worth of whatever bullshit notes they gave at the beginning of the movie.
It was like an Oscar acceptance speech, but written out in the opening credits.
That's presumptuous.
Right? Yeah. No, I agree. I was like, oh boy, this is going to be a long 2 hours.
Yeah, and if they're doing their job well, then we shouldn't need to read anything at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Did you find it ironic that it said Batman in his youthful ward, Dick Grayson, youthful ward? I'm like, what the hell is a youthful ward? But Burt Ward plays Dick Grayson, and he's younger than Batman. So is that some pretty deep shit right there?
So it's just take the words literally.
Oh man,
just like
I've got so
as
many
literal as all of these Riddler riddles.
Oh.
Wow, that's a lot of riddling.
God. One of my first notes too was that everything is filmed and then sped up to be a time and a half faster, so it looks like it's really fast. It's like,
yeah, they're just doing speed ramping.
But like even to the untrained eye, like the physics of that world do not match, and your eyes are just like, wait a minute, that doesn't look right. Like,
yeah, that's a pretty common effect that's used in like these decades, though.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Like a ton of the James Bond movies use speed ramping.
Yeah,
to make cars go faster.
Yeah,
boats go faster.
But like when they like hit jumps or something like that, it just looks like they're on a world with like twice as much gravity.
Yeah. Didn't you know all jumps take place on Venus?
Seriously, right? Yeah.
Does Venus have more gravity?
Nope. I don't know. That's about as much science research as this movie did. There's some parts coming up
which
in my
was
notes.
Negative.
Yeah. Oh my God. This would be something that you would show for your like high school physics class and be like, okay, kids, let's pick apart everything that breaks the rules of of reality.
Yeah. Like, have you seen The Core?
I have, yeah.
So this movie is more wrong about how the universe works than The Core.
Yeah, and that says something because like it was almost as if The Core spent the majority of their writing in, okay, how are we gonna just make an alternate Earth universe where none of the laws of physics apply?
But now, in today's climate, it kind of makes sense because all of the research for these movies is simply done in an alt-right universe where science doesn't exist.
That's a little too soon. That hits pretty heavy. Okay, back to Batman. I love how literally everything is labeled. Could you imagine the bill that they get monthly for the label maker service? They probably single-handedly were the startup for Office Max and Office Depot. They created a cottage industry
Yeah.
just for all the labels. And like all the shit they label is just
Dumb.
totally
I'm
ridiculous.
surprised their door wasn't like labeled like front door.
Yeah. Or their secret hideout was like secret hideout button labeled.
Bat cave.
Yeah.
Well, everything had to have the bat prefix.
I know it.
Some examples: Bat cave, Batmobile, Batcopter,
Bat
Bat
shark
ladder?
shark repellent spray. Like it's even hard for me to say.
Bat boat.
Pretty ridiculous. Oh, okay. So the plot, blah 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 blah. They
Oh wow, that really summed up the plot nicely.
Well, like they waste so much freaking time. They're like, okay, so we need to go to like, oh, we have a call. We need to go out to this distressed boat. So they get the call, and then they're out gallivanting around. Then they zoom home, and then they do all this ridiculous stuff once they get home. And then they get in the Batmobile, and then it has like this weak ass sterno flame come out, and it speeds away. And then they call the airport, and then they have them get the chopper, the chopper. They get to the chopper, and then they finally fly out. It's like seriously, 4 hours have passed
Yeah.
before they actually get to where the boat
had a
is.
couple questions about that scene.
Yeah.
One, so they're rerouting air traffic, all air traffic, so that the Batcopter can take off.
Yeah.
That they make that very clear.
Yeah.
Also, why not just have the Batcopter at the Batcave?
No shit, right? What did it have to be? Maybe Batman is such a stickler for rules that
he's obviously breaking zoning laws already.
maybe he's like a stickler for, FAA rules. He's like, okay, well, I can speed on the road. I don't give a shit about state patrol, but when it comes to air traffic control, the FAA is the highest authority in the land.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that the police stop and salute the Batcopter.
I know.
They're throwing out just.
And that couple that was having the picnic definitely making whoopee. They were like, they stopped what they were doing. They're like, oh, it just makes you feel good to know a feller's doing his job up there. Get back to it. Get back to the whoopee.
Insanity.
Yeah. So the point I was getting at was that when they finally get to this boat, turns out it's a mirage, and Batman ends up in the water after Robin obviously can't fly the Batcopter worth shit, and he ends up with a shark on his leg. So I was like, minute 7, Batman joins the Paralympics. I'm like, he's going to be going against Oster Pistorius, the guy that shot his girlfriend through the door, the Australian, New Zealand.
Do you want to
runner?
try again?
Where's he from?
Oscar Pistorius?
Yeah,
he's South African, isn't he?
Oh boy, I always get him mixed up with Jaco Pastorius, the bass player.
Yes, I could see how those two would be easy to mix up.
Yeah, they're both. So, where's he from?
He's definitely from South Africa.
Dang. Well, I learned a lesson on that one. Anyway, so he joins Batman joins the Paralympics because, who gets bitten by a shark?
Well, there's a lot of problems with this, but we find out later that the shark is fake, isn't it?
No, it's a real shark.
Really? Because
when he's
hitting it, it sounds like rubber.
Well, I mean, it obviously is rubber.
No, when he's hitting it, it sounds like rubber.
Thwack.
I'm taking this movie at face value.
Yeah.
That is not a real shark.
And so what happened? Okay, my biggest critique of the entire movie happens in that scene. Sorry, one of my biggest critiques, because I forgot about a lot more of them. Robin puts the Batcopter on autopilot and then decides to climb down this ladder to give Batman the bat shark repellent
and
spray.
he gets so close.
Well, no, first he doesn't. First he's 5 rungs away and he sticks his feet in, and rather than just bend down and give Batman the repellent, he has to go lock his feet in and then flip upside down.
Yeah, he could just step down 2 more steps.
Right? And just handed it to him, just crouch down. But then where he first locks his feet in, they end up backing away and then cutting to a new scene, and he's way closer. There's so many errors like that. There's so many times where they have the freeze frame thing where they'll have somebody disappear or reappear. And the set person probably was drunk the whole time because they're coffee cups that are moved and oh, it's
those kind of
obvious.
mistakes though, I'll let those go for this movie because there's so much to
no
scoop
excuses
up.
no excuses
Okay, so they get back to the whatever police station,
Mm-hmm.
and they're talking about how they can't take their masks off. Those masks can't hide anyone's identity, and they have unmodulated voices. Both of their voices are so distinct.
Yeah, right? Like Adam West talks in his own way, the way that Christopher Walken has his own way. Like, if Christopher Walken put a mask on, you'd know it was Christopher Walken the whole time.
Because it sounds like Christopher Walken,
Yeah.
and you can pretty much tell it's him when there's just a little band over his eyes.
except for later in the movie, but I'll wait till we get to that note.
Well, I mean, at least Christian Bale's Batman, he does the dumb Batman voice.
Yeah.
But at least,
Rachel!
But at least it sounds different than Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, that's true.
When in this movie, Bruce Wayne and Batman are so easily identified as the same person.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. People in this universe are idiots. They're total idiots.
Well, that's going to become apparent.
Well, okay, so I kind of forgot about all the characters. So there's Commissioner Gordon, who definitely he's stuck around in future iterations of Batman. But in this one, there's Chief O'Hara, who's like the racist Irish Catholic cop. I just thought, oh god, here it is. Like, this is the beginning of the end for the police department. Or gives a terrible name for him.
No, I was cool with it.
No,
I was all good.
no, okay.
What I wasn't good with is them continuously referring to people as super criminals.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think? Like, awards you that title of super criminal? Like, what do you have to
in
do?
This batshit crazy universe.
Oh my god, is that bat themed shit crazy?
Yes,
bat branded shit crazy. I don't know. Like, nobody dies in this. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Actually, a few people die. But for the most part, like, the supervillains probably haven't really killed people. They just want world domination, but they're not really willing to kill people.
Certainly made an enemy out of PETA.
Oh yeah, and sharks, and
in explosive animals.
Yeah, that's for sure. They probably made an enemy out of the science community because they're. Oh god, they jump to like. Okay, here's another one of my biggest critiques of this movie. The jumps in logic, if you take this movie at face value, the jumps in logic are just astronomically insane. Like, totally insane. And everybody arrives to the same conclusion as if it was like, oh, okay, yeah, like in the middle of an Oreo is the the frosted goodness. Oh yeah, everybody knows that. I don't know, I couldn't think of another analogy, but yeah.
Wow, the holidays are making us weep.
So I like it when you first get introduced to the supervillain bad guy lair, and it's just like a bar, not unlike the bar on Holly Street in Bellingham down by the waterfront. It's just like a bar on the water. Catwoman walks in, and there's just like all these brawls and people making out and people dancing, and I'm like, dude, if this was a real establishment, you know how fast the city would have shut that shit down? Like,
yeah, all these people would have been bounced.
Oh well. Yeah, I mean, just get Chief O'Hara's paddy wagon and just load them all up. And there were so many, like, kind of seemed like they were trying to make PSAs, like,
oh yeah, support your police.
Yeah, oh yeah, this was speaking of origin stories. This is the origin story of the Blue Lives Matter movement.
Wow.
Yeah, shit, you're not.
Hashtag Bat Lives Matter.
Mm-hmm.
So
go.
I'm wondering, what is an illegal projection buoy? Because that indicates that there's such thing as a legal projection buoy.
Or is it just an illegal buoy that has a projector in it?
Or is it a buoy that came here without proper paperwork?
Across the border? Yeah, boy. These are the questions that will plague us through the night.
And will never get answered.
Yeah. So discussing the four supervillains, Catwoman, Penguin, Riddler, and the Joker. The Joker, like, he has white face. he has white makeup all over his face, but he still has a mustache that they just painted white.
Bothered me so bad.
Dude, I was hoping you were going to
oh, so gross.
Yeah, right?
That's
like,
so gross.
Dude, tell me about it. Like, he's going home after a long day and he gets to, like, take off his persona, but that white paint is still in his mustache, and he goes and he gives his wife a kiss, and it's just gross. Just totally gross.
Actually, the Riddler and Joker pretty much had the same personality in this movie.
Kinda. I thought so too.
They were both had dumb laughs.
Mm-hmm.
They laughed a lot, and they didn't make any sense.
Did you notice how yellow, by contrast, how yellow the Joker's teeth were because his face was white? They they did whiteface on him.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah. I mean, it was 1966, so dental science has progressed quite a bit since then.
You know what also has progressed?
Regular science?
Boat technology.
Oh my god.
Did you feel like maybe they should have permanently lost their hearing when they started up the Bat boat?
There's one more of the cutaway scenes when it was like the close-up of Batman and Robin driving the Batboat. They just talk to each other, kind of about the same volume you and I are now. But then when it was the cutaway scene and it was like far away,
it was like a fucking jetliner.
Yeah, and they had like ear protection on, which is so easy to see.
Giant ear, like over the ear,
like military grade style.
And then they're just talking to each other. Meh.
Yeah, they're like, hey. So,
ambient room noise.
So, what do you want to get? You want to get some bat chicken nuggets for dinner?
Bat nuggets?
No, bat chicken nuggets. Also in this, Batman is super patronizing to Robin. Like, if I were Robin, I'm sure there's got to be one time where you're fighting somebody with Batman, and Batman asks you to do something that's super patronizing, and you just break down. And like, seriously, how annoying would that be? Just be like micromanaged by Batman all the time. Like, Batman's holding a hose and he hands it to you to hook up to a water faucet that you're literally
both standing right next to.
Robin, attach this. It's like, dude, just do it yourself, you lazy shit.
Just upper management.
Yeah, man. Oh God, what a jerk.
Batman knows the boss, so he can get away with
He's the man.
Not doing the work.
Can we talk about costumes?
Sure.
Okay. Let's just say this is before, like, it was important, or not important, but like.
No, this was before it was important. Whatever's about to come next. This is before whatever importance happened.
Batman was flabby. He's like if I were to put on a superhero costume. Like, I'm not rotund, but I'm not cut like Christian Bale. You know, I think that the most fit person was probably the Riddler. But everybody in their underpants, like, I think that's why they probably went to like the leather and in like hard form fit stuff, because they were out there in their underpants and you could see silhouettes and outlines of everything.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, more so than nowadays, where it's like,
oh yeah, where it's just
cod
like,
piece.
Yeah,
a stuffed cod piece.
Well, you know, Catwoman was also fit, I guess.
Okay, yeah. I'm sorry, she was very fit, but she wore like 1966 make your boobs super pointy.
This is also very true.
Like, oh my God, dude, like
that was part of the weapon.
Seriously, right? You could poke somebody's eye out with that. Oh, here's my other question. So a lot of Batman's gadgets are battery powered.
Yeah.
Who do you think supplies the batteries for Batman?
Energizer. Definitely.
You think so?
Yeah.
You don't think Duracell?
No.
Duracell's black. Energizer's like the silver color, right?
Wait, was Duracell a person?
No. I'm talking about the colors of the... Wow. I'm talking about the colors of the batteries.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Duracell is good enough for EMTs, right?
I think so.
But Energizer...
And children's hospitals?
Energizer just keeps going and going, though.
Yeah, well, allegedly not.
Well, no, actually...
it has to be Duracell because...
Yeah, it's Duracell.
Yeah, because Batman's equipment shits out on him a couple times.
Well,
do you think he had lithium technology back then?
I have no idea.
Not for mood stabilizers, but for batteries.
Well, it doesn't really matter about batteries because Robin doesn't even seem to understand magnets.
Oh my God, right?
So I'm under the impression that he went on to be a founding member of ICP.
The Insane Clown Posse?
That would be the one.
Okay, you got to dive into that because I don't quite follow it yet.
Hold
on. It hasn't been like Batman and Robin logic where I instantly understand exactly what you're talking about on a large leap of logic. So please break it down for me.
Well, haven't you heard or seen that ICP song where they're like
Talking about miracles?
Miracles.
Yeah, motherfucking miracles.
Yeah, and they're just
How are
like
babies born? It's a miracle.
Magnets, how do they work? I don't know. Actually, I do. It's called science.
It's called science. Yeah.
So Robin's in that camp.
Yeah, probably. Once again, it's the origin story for ICP.
And also, they don't understand science because of nonsense garbage terms like reverse the polarity and super energy.
Yeah. Antimatter.
I mean, some of these are real words that just are being used as if they're household cleaning items.
No kidding. Ugh. Okay, so at this next point in the movie, I was like, oh man, I don't know if this was a great recommendation because it looked like you were about ready to jump through a window.
Well, at, 47 minutes, I paused it to see how much time was left.
And we were halfway through.
We were only halfway through, and I was almost ready to shut it off.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a scene where Batman and Robin, through some reverse polarity or whatever, get attached to that buoy out on the water, and the Penguin shooting torpedoes from his Penguin submarine that he purchased from surplus, allegedly.
Oh, we'll get into that.
Okay. So they're shooting torpedoes, and like it looks like Batman and Robin blow up because there's an explosion off camera, and then the supervillains all celebrate. And then the Bat boat's zooming away, and
by the way, they're not supervillains, they're super criminals.
Oh, sorry, super criminals. Does that really only mean that they've broken the law compared to a villain?
I don't care, no.
Yeah. Okay, so Batman and Robin have this totally nonchalant thing explaining how they survived the final barrage of torpedoes, and this says something to the order of, it was sure noble of that porpoise to hurl itself in front of that last torpedo for us. And then I think Batman says, oh yes, the nobility of the almost human porpoise. It took, it gave its life to save ours. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
At this point, I was like, Adrian, I am so sorry.
This is somewhere around the time that I was getting ready to shut it
Contemplating needing lithium for mood stabilizers.
Yes. and then after that comes the part where they call whoever.
Commissioner Gordon?
No, whoever sold the war surplus submarine.
The general. Yeah.
So the general said that the person who bought it only left a P.O. box.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and let you know something.
Okay.
You can't open a bank account without a physical address.
Yeah.
I really doubt the U.S. government would let you buy a war surplus submarine without a physical address.
And it allegedly had munitions in it because they had like all the torpedoes and
I think they must have bought those.
All the Polaris.
They must have. Oh yeah, they make sure to let you know they're Polaris missiles every single time.
Yeah. Oh, it's very well labeled.
They also make sure to let you know that the submarine is pre-atomic.
Another thing that I thought was super funny.
They say it so many times.
Oh my god. So okay, let's start picking those things apart. We'll call those out as we come up to them in our notes. But they get back and they shoot off a Polaris missile. The bad guys do, and it leaves some riddles perfectly etched in the sky, as if like an airplane with the smoke has perfect handwriting.
And even an airplane skywriting can't do that good of a job.
I know it. It was just typefaced in the sky. And these riddles are just stupid. So anyways, this is where they have the most outrageous leaps of logic, and and Batman and Commissioner Gordon and Robin all figure out that there are 4 super criminals working together. And then here's a big, like, whatever.
When do they figure out that there are 3 super criminals working out together?
Oh, it's because they haven't figured out Catwoman's involved yet.
Yeah,
that's right. Sorry. Anyways, they said something.
It's really not important because no one cares.
I had to write this down. Commissioner Gordon says, the sum of the angles is too big to comprehend in the rectangle. And referring to that there are a lot, 4, I think at some point.
At some point they figure out Catwoman's involved.
Yeah. And I'm like, wait, no, it's a rectangle. So, okay, by definition, it's going to have 2 sets of equal sides that could or could not be equal to all of each other. And by definition, all angles are 90 degrees, you fucking idiot.
And like, the sum of angles is always going to be 360.
Right? So I was just like, I hadn't watched this movie in a long time, but now that I'm older and understand math a little bit more and geometry, basic geometry. I was like, oh my God, Commissioner Gordon, how did you get to be the police commissioner? Like, you are a complete idiot.
Yeah, I no comment on the police force.
Yeah.
This is a police force that deputized 2 jackasses in costumes.
Yep, pretty much. And they have more leeway than the police officers do.
Yeah, and the police do not help them on any of their missions,
right? They
They're
don't
just
say,
like,
we need
oh,
police
these
backup."
guys will come take care of it. We're just going to go sit in the office.
Then in the movie, Batman, Bruce Wayne meets up with Catwoman, who's also undercover as some Russian journalist.
Reporter.
Yeah, Kitka. And Robin and Alfred decide to tail him in the Batmobile and just be the surveillance and jump in if he needs help. And so, once again, Batman's super patronizing. He turns to Alfred. He's like,
Oh,
do you
yeah.
have your driver's license? And I'm like, dude, Alfred has raised you from a baby. He wiped your ass when you didn't know how to clean yourself. So I'm pretty sure Alfred knows, like, oh, I didn't think I needed that. Like, once again, Batman's a stickler for the law. So then Alfred goes and puts on his super secret costume, which is, guess what?
Foggy goggles.
Foggy goggles with like a little black eye covering mask with 2 eye holes cut out. I'm like, oh my God. So insane.
That's not road legal.
No, right? So insane.
Do you think it's possible that these people let Batman treat them like shit because they feel bad for him?
Yeah, he just
Like,
has a
they're
lot
like-
of
they're
money.
like, oh man, you're rich, and hey buddy, it's okay. You're running the show. Yeah, it's all right. Your parents are dead.
I'm going to say it's because he has a lot of money. And as we found out, people with a lot of money say things like, oh, I could go and I could shoot somebody in New York right now and nobody would do anything about it. And that's probably true. Sorry, once again, hitting too close, too real
soon.
right now. It is too soon. So Batman doesn't realize that this Kitka is Catwoman and is about ready to go shack up with her. And like they have this really weird like thing where he's got his eyes closed and she's doing Morse code with a cat. Morse code.
Yes.
where she
I
clicks
said
it.
meows code.
Oh my God, that would not be out of the realm of possibility for this movie. So she's using Meow's code, and every time she clicks it, the cat's eyes light up on this
Yeah.
little device. and
That's
it's like-
see, this is why they shouldn't be allowed to use batteries
yeah,
because all that just sucks power.
it's a waste.
It's a waste of power.
It's a total waste. Yeah,
And
so,
all this whole time, pretty sure that Bruce Man
yeah,
just wants like a little HJ in the carriage. That's all he's
Exactly.
looking for.
he just needs. Yeah, but he's so
And-
rich, he could just pay for
and-
that.
And here's Kitka, Catwoman, just meows coding away.
Oh my God. So they get back to her apartment. She goes and slips into something more comfortable. And here's this was the first question I had for you. So do you think Batman carries condoms in his utility belt?
Absolutely not.
No?
No.
So he doesn't practice safe sex?
No.
Okay.
That's the one PSA they don't do in this movie.
Yeah, no kidding. Because they talk about how drinking is bad. Okay, so then if he did have his own Bat brand condoms,
Yeah.
and they were labeled obviously Bat condoms, what would their slogan be? Bat shit crazy, or cover your back.
Cover your bat. We've got your bat.
That's pretty good. I was thinking something like, there's got to be some rabies one. Cover your bat so you don't get rabies.
Raids bees.
Yeah. Oh man. You know that there's got to be some third world country that's cranking out bat condoms like crazy.
It's like aftermarket.
Yeah. They're not licensed. Like
Nope, they haven't been
Batman.
They haven't been electrically tested.
Batman spelt with 2 T's. Yeah, exactly.
And with a U like a Batman.
Oh my God. It's got to be that.
All right, so Alfred's definitely a voyeur,
Oh yeah.
and Robin is the
Closeted?
moral voice here, and they make sure to let you know 1,000,000 times watching people have sex is wrong.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do you think that's like anti-porn?
It's probably. Okay, so when did like the sexual revolution start? like
I'm
60s,
still waiting.
Right? Hey-o. It was in the 60s, right?
I
Like
don't know.
later 60s? Like,
I wasn't there.
well, yeah, but there are history books.
I wasn't there.
For history books? Yeah. I wrote down driving is such a terrible thing. That's a PSA. I don't know what I was.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't remember what.
You know what is bad driving?
Wait, they don't let Robin drive. Go ahead.
Those rocket umbrellas that they take off with is like Mary Poppins on mushrooms.
Yeah.
And Mary Poppins is already on mushrooms.
Yeah. These are like the non-psychedelic mushrooms. These are the ones that you eat and you die. The poisonous mushrooms.
And at this point, I was kind of ready for those mushrooms to take me away.
Permanently. Yeah. So Robin had, here's my second question for you. Robin has like all these,
Gosh,
exclamations.
David.
He has all these exclamations like, holy snake in the grass, Batman, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
So what would yours be if you were Robin? And
I'm not even going to go there.
Yeah.
I do not care.
yeah, okay, but if it were remade today and you could kind of get away with saying stuff that's a little more colorful, what would you say if you were Robin?
I'll have to get back to you on that.
Yeah.
What's yours?
I bet it's something like Robin, he comes off like, he kept wanting to turn off the surveillance stuff when Bruce Wayne was shacking up with Catwoman. But I bet he's into some like really freaky stuff. Like he is like he comes off as really vanilla until he tells you about one of his fetishes, and it's just like insanely crazy and very specific. So
Which is what you'd expect from the Boy Wonder.
yeah, boy, oh boy, Dick Grayson. Yeah, and they never let him drive. So if he's the boy wonder, is he like the tween wonder? Because he's not quite ready to legally drive.
There's a lot of stuff wrong.
Okay, so here's another critique I have. I'm sorry. I mean, I really haven't had a lot of critiques yet, but let me go ahead and throw this one out there. So at some point in the movie, Penguin dresses up like Commodore Schmidt-Lap, aka his real name's Reginald Denny, and Batman and Robin recognize him immediately. And I'm like, are you
no
kidding?
shit.
Like, this is the best disguise. Like, I kind of forgot what Commodore Schmidt-Lap actually looked like. They just put Penguin in like a sailor suit, and I'm like,
No, this is a world where two shitty masks can conceal Batman and Robin's identities, but a full body costume
yeah. And like
is
makeup
instantly a
and, like,
giveaway.
a wig. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, come on. Really? How did they figure it out so fast?
But before that, we get to watch a dummy getting sprung out in the ocean onto an exploding octopus.
This, technology and movies now are, the budget is just so different. Like a lot of the stuff that they did, like Penguin's surplus submarine.
Oh, the model?
It's all models. Like everything is models. Nothing is real size except for the few sets. And of the few sets, you never see the full room. It never turns 360. It's always like one view of it, meaning it was a sound stage where they built half of a set and the camera looks into a room and you just never look fully around the room.
I lost my train of thought.
Oh, okay.
That happens a lot during this movie.
Yeah. You lost your will to live. I mean, train of thought.
Okay, so the dummy... So when we see the dummy get thrown out into the ocean onto the exploding octopus,
Mm-hmm.
that whole getting Batman to try to step on that spring to get thrown out of the window, that is like Wile E. Coyote level planning.
It's like they and the springboard thing is like, oh my god, it's literally, you'd have to step up, pretty much would equate to one full step up, so like 7 inches off the ground, and it's a big pink spring. Like, hello, watch where you're going.
These super criminals are not good at their job.
No.
One, they wouldn't make it today, because what they would need to do today is literally just walk up to Batman with a gun
Oh yeah,
and
right?
shoot him in the face, and then their problem is over.
Or SARS or or anthrax or anything like.
Yeah, everything from 2000.
Right? That's where I'm living. Yikes. So, okay, if you had to guess how much this movie cost to make, How much would you say?
Ooh, I did not look this up.
Oh, and then I also have how much it made.
Yeah, I think I did see it, but I do not remember. Somewhere around the area of like $5 million.
No, $1.5 million.
Oh.
But like adjusting for inflation, that seems like a lot of money for 1966.
Yeah, in 66, that's a lot of money.
And it grossed $1.7 million.
So the audience has spoken.
But that only includes U.S. and Canada rentals, it says.
And that's actually like 10%, like 15% profit.
No, $200,000 on $1.5 million, not so much. So 1% would be $150,000. So it's like
what kind of math are you doing?
15,000. So 1.5 million.
Yeah, what kind of math are you doing?
What kind of math are you doing?
$200,000.
Yeah, because it cost 1.5 to make,
right?
And then they made 1.7. So netting them only.
Yeah, so that's they made 13% profit.
Yikes!
It's not too bad.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a lot of money though. Yeah.
All right. Well, we can't talk about how bad they are at science when we can't do math.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, one of my final huge critiques, and why I know they didn't do any science research, was Batman and Robin are in the Batcopter, and they get blown out of the sky. Not literally, but they get hit with a missile or whatever, and it blows off the tail section of the Batcopter, and then it does this whole thing like they're going down, and then the Batcopter is flying upside down. I'm like, okay, it's a helicopter.
Yeah. So
no, that defies so many laws. So okay, I guess in the helicopter, if you bank super hard and you can do like one rotation, like all the way upside down, but it's because you have a centripetal force that holds you up.
Hey, you could be making up all that stuff right now, and you would still have done more science than this movie.
Oh God! And then Batman's like, "Oh, I thought I saw that foam factory, outdoor sale out of the corner of my eye."
It was a foam rubber convention.
Maybe that's what Robin's into, is the foam rubber, but more as in like the GIMP foam rubber latex suits.
Yeah, but before all this happens, we get to watch him freak out about this bomb with the longest fuse in the world.
Yeah. Wait. Hold on. I'm sorry. I hate to interrupt. Let me back up. So this is all like an elaborate ruse so that Batman and Robin can get to Penguin. So they pretend that they get gassed by Penguin. Penguin steals the Batmobile, and they end up in the motorcycle. And as they arrive to the airport, Robin's in the sidecar, and Batman says, "Activate go-kart." And Batman goes to one side of the helicopter that is warming up, and Robin in his go-kart goes to the other side. But by the time that they both get out and get into the helicopter, it would have been just as fast, if not faster, for Robin to just stay in the motorcycle with Batman and walk around the fucking helicopter.
Did you see him struggle to get out of that little go-kart?
God. Yeah, it was like teeny. It was like Mario Kart size for him.
All that happened after what I'm about to tell you.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, that's right.
That bomb scene.
Oh.
Well, first of all, they throw the teetotaling message beforehand.
Yeah.
And then as he's running around the bar, there's like those two super fat ladies that are just ignoring him running around with a bomb, telling everyone to get out, and they're just stuffing their faces.
Oh my God. Like nothing could possibly faze them. Like the apocalypse could not possibly stop them from eating.
I'm trying to figure out what the message was there, because there wasn't a message with everything.
I'm going to say that the food at this particular restaurant is that freaking good.
Did you see that just the two of them sitting at that table had a full table's worth of food?
God, that was depressing. Oh man, I'm sorry. I read one of my notes and I thought it was driving, but the PSA that they say is drinking is such a terrible thing. And then Batman says something like, well, yes it is, but all those souls that are in there aren't lost. They still have time to change. And I'm like, oh my God.
They're still people.
Get out of church. Get out of church, asshole. So that food thing, okay, does it get deep and political and say that that's a commentary on America's consumerism?
No, I just think they're saying that fat people are stupid and deserve to be blown up by this bomb.
Yeah.
Because that's the kind of thing this movie would say.
Maybe they should have eaten the bomb. But Batman didn't think so.
This isn't Zelda.
Batman didn't. He would have blown him up if he had thought that. But Batman's just the Mr. Goody Two Shoes moral high route guy.
But after that, when they anesthetize the undercover Penguin,
Yeah.
Who quacks for some strange reason.
Yeah.
Do penguins quack?
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Science.
And I
But
did no research for that. But
When Batman's like, this is a harmless anesthetic just to whatever, get him where we need to get him without
it's
him
like ether.
knowing.
Yeah.
You know, no anesthetic is harmless, and dosage is actually really important, and
Yeah.
they would most likely just kill him.
they overdose him. And then they seriously just spray an aerosol bat wake can in front
Not
of him.
even at him
No.
to wake him. It was in the general area of his face.
Don't you think that was like aerosol asbestos because it was in 1966?
Probably.
I bet you at least one of the main characters, whether it be the villains or superheroes, has died a horrible death since.
From some kind of asbestos-related
Yeah.
cancer.
Carcinogen inhalation or like something like that. Yeah, that bomb that Batman was running around with the lit fuse for so long, like there's got to be some
It was probably just spewing asbestos.
or like lead based. I don't know.
And when Penguin gets to the fake UN, 'cause that's what it was, the fake UN,
Yeah.
then did you notice the knockout gas didn't even hit the front desk guy? Like, it wasn't even close to his face.
He's like, yeah, well, whatever. I could use a nap. Okay, here's his backstory. That's Carl at at reception, and he's like, he wanted to quit, and he's tired. He just has, a new baby at home. He hasn't slept or shit. He's like, dude, this is my opportunity. I am so tired. I'm just gonna take a nap, and I don't even care what happens. I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, dude, I got knocked out by that gas too. That's Carl for you.
That's Carl. Classic Carl.
Hey, one thing, I don't mean to jump around too much, but when Batman and Robin got hit with that missile and it knocked their Batcopter out of the sky, the line, I kid you not, from one of the supervillains, I can't remember which one it was, is they said, let's use the surface-to-surface missile. Okay, there's a surface-to-air, right?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, and then what's a surface-to-surface?
So I guess that would be
Water
shooting-
to ground.
That would be... Well, that would be ground to ground.
Right?
Surface would be water to
Water.
water.
Yeah.
So you'd be trying to shoot, I guess, like a boat.
Right, and then blowing the boat up so it gets knocked high enough in the sky to knock a helicopter out of the sky. Like, oh my god.
Well, it doesn't... They're all the same. They're all Polaris missiles.
Yeah.
And they use the exact same Polaris missile stock footage for every
From
single shot.
From Getty Images, trademark 1966. Yeah. So anyways, they're at the UN, and they've dehydrated and rehydrated all these guys.
Well, they've dehydrated them.
Yeah.
And no one notices this happening.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Because they're arguing so much. So if you were having an argument, you would be probably most likely engaging with one person. And if they mysteriously turned into a very vibrantly colored pile of dust, you probably know something's going on.
It's possible.
I mean, I'm sorry. That was very presumptuous of me and kind of downright untrue. I shouldn't make such wild leaps of logic.
Well, that's actually the least of their worries, though. When they're chasing the super criminals into the elevator, they bang the elevator door after it closes, and
it's a real door.
The entire wall shakes.
That's because that's how strong Batman is. Duh, didn't you see that?
Oh, yeah, he's so strong he can shake an obvious set wall.
Yeah. So then they race him
out
back.
of like cardboard.
Yeah. They race back, and then they finally get on a big fight, a battle, knockout on top of the submarine. Which
wait, I want to just pose this scenario to you, and let me hear what you think this scene would look like. Okay. So there's going to be a fight. It's going to be this big final fight.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
And
wait, are you pitching this to me? Is this an elevator pitch?
It's going to be on this submarine. It's going to be so cool. They're going to be just fighting on this submarine. It's going to be chaos.
Is it a real submarine, or is this a model submarine?
Well, that's beside the point. Ignore that.
Okay, continue.
No, they're going to be fighting on this submarine. Tell me, is that fight going to be interior or exterior?
Man, if it were interior, that'd be cool because you'd have like all kinds of places you could hide. But yeah, I could see that could run out. Maybe we should do exterior. Okay, get into it with me. What's an exterior fight on a submarine look like?
It looks like any other fight that could happen on a boat.
Oh yeah, lame. And then I'm guessing people fall in water. Do people fall in water?
Well, no, they actually all look like they voluntarily jumped in the water.
Oh my god, that was so ridiculous. Like one guy's like Robin. He's just like
he gets like tapped, and then they just
He's
jump
like,
into the water.
Well, fuck this. I bet you he didn't use a bat condom, and he's got a hot burn, and he's just got to go cool it off in that icy salt water.
Then this is where I really lost it, because then they actually put the pow thwack stuff on the screen.
Great. Okay, I'm glad you brought it up. I wrote down my favorite ones. Clonk, spelled Klonk, Urnk, URNK, and BLURP for blurp. So if you were to punch or kick or fight somebody, what would your sound effect written out be?
Conk.
How do you spell that?
KARNCKKKKK.
Whoa, that's 3 too many K's, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
I think mine would be PWTHWAP. Pathwap.
Pathwap.
Pathwap. Which honestly sounds like somebody swinging a dead limb. Like my arm is asleep and I have no control over it and I'm just swinging it wildly. Pathwap.
So Catwoman trips.
Oh god.
In the most stupid way.
Yeah.
And gets caught.
Yeah, and when she trips and falls, her mask or her little like visor thing just goes plop. And
then all of a sudden, Batman Bruce realizes that she's Kitka, and then stares off into the distance, hearing Russian music, like from their date.
Yeah,
for way too long.
It was like uncomfortably minutes. At that point, like, where's the separation of like real time? Don't you think that like Robin would have been like, oh god, he's going into an episode like, hey, Batman. Maybe he would have given him some bat-branded smelling salts to wake him up.
To get rid of the vapors.
Oh, God. He's going to give him some... Ready for it? Bat salts.
Bat salts? Oh, shit.
And then he's going to eat somebody's face off.
Which is fine, because then what comes next is the super molecular dust separator.
Mm-hmm.
Which is clearly labeled.
Yep.
And at this point in my notes, it just says super molecular dust separator ... Fuck this movie.
I only had one more note, and I don't remember where it happened. But I feel like it summed up the whole movie for me. And looking over and looking at your facial expressions, here's the quote: "There's always hope. You should know that." Oh my god. Yeah.
I lost hope when they were starting the supermolecular dust separator and put their surgeon masks on, pressed a button. And
wait, stop. Hold on. I hate to interrupt. Batman put his surgeon mask on over his mouth, like, yes. But it didn't cover his nose. I'm like, well, that doesn't do shit. Like, you know.
This whole machine was a closed system.
Yeah,
there was no open air.
Yeah, exactly, right.
And then immediately they take their masks off. Those masks were useless.
And you know that they threw them in the bat trash can and then sent it to the bat landfill, which unfortunately...
No, the bat incinerator.
The bat incinerator. Yeah, and then they got some bat Ethiopian children to make more for them at pennies on the dollar. So, yeah, they're terrible people.
At Bat Medical Surplus.
Oh, my God.
One of my last notes was when they rehydrated all the diplomats.
Mm-hmm.
Based on the name tag or the country tag and the dust, where the dust was sitting, I'm pretty sure the Japanese guy's dust was yellow. Also, It was a nice touch making the West German guy speak Hebrew. Those were my last two notes.
I mean, World War II was not that far removed. 20 years.
So maybe those tongue-in-cheek jokes were a little inappropriate.
Malicious stabs. Yeah. How would you make this movie better?
I would pocket the $1.5 million and run away.
And buy an island. Yeah. Did you find any redeeming value in this at all?
Oh, this movie was hilarious.
We had so many laughs. I looked over at you and I was laughing, but I was like, oh shit. That could be just out of like pure awkward embarrassment.
It was so campy. But I didn't know if it was it felt self-aware.
I don't know.
But it also seemed like they were trying to make a real movie.
I agree. I don't know if it was self-aware as much as it definitely tried to be campy. Like, they never turned to the camera and said, drinking is a terrible thing.
They might as well have.
I know it, right? What do you think one of the most ridiculously labeled Bat products would be if you could scour through Wayne Manor?
Like Bat toothpaste.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
I think you hit it with the Bat condoms.
What about Bat Preparation H in the bathroom? Or like, what about in his medicine cabinet? I bet he's got some crazy stuff in there. Robin's medicine cabinet. Do you think Robin gets to label anything Robin?
No. Haven't you? This is Batman's world, and
What
we're
about
just
in
all
Robin?
living in it.
What about in Robin's room, though?
Robin doesn't
Like-
have a room.
Okay, what
Robin's room is just Bat Room 2.
if, but like, would his porno stash underneath his bed be labeled Bat Stash? Or would it be like Rockin' Robin? You know?
Bat off stash.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Okay. So this movie sucked, but was super enjoyable in a way, like watching a good bad movie,
But like,
but a movie that didn't know it was bad.
yeah, that was my thing, is like, how much did it realize it was that bad?
But it also started the film adaptations of Batman, which is still going on.
Yeah. Really, Tim Burton's Batmans were a logical jump from this, you know? And then I'm a fan of the Christopher Nolan ones with Christian Bale.
But they're definitely
Christopher Nolan. Yeah, they're definitely
Christopher Nolan.
Yeah. Even because I actually recently had watched a couple of the Tim Burton ones, like I think Batman Returns and Batman Forever, I think was the other one. And they use models, like there are a lot of times where the Batmobile is just a model pulling up to a model storefront, stuff like that. So they definitely kept the camp in. I don't know. It's wholesome. It's something that I don't think kids their attention would be held, because there are scenes where Batman goes into fever dreams and starts romanticizing about a one night date with Kitka and starts thinking about stuff like that. Or like the whole, like, where they rehydrated all of the dehydrated diplomats. Like, that scene took forever.
Yes, because
And
the
it was like-
water pressure was zero.
Yeah. Oh man, no kidding. And there's like no dialogue.
They're literally sitting there watching and waiting for water to drip.
Could you imagine being the sound engineer on that? Like, okay, here, we're going to drip water in a pan. Okay, let's layer that over top of water dripping on water. Okay.
Ooh,
okay.
no, Steve, you gotta slow the water drips down, man.
Oh, okay. So, but we still can have like 10 different water sound effects, right?
Yeah, no,
Just slowly? Okay,
no.
gotcha.
The weirder and shittier it sounds, the better. Just,
Okay.
just
How
make
does
it
water
slow.
going through a plastic tube sound?
I don't know. Just do it in a metal can.
Yeah. What about the last scene where Batman turns to Robin and they want to leave the room after all the diplomats are rehydrated, and he's like, "Let's leave inconspicuously."
Yeah.
And they walk
Out
in
the
front of a crowd
window.
they walk in front of a crowd of a dozen guys, and then
Yep.
they just go out the window. And Robin ties his line off to go out the window on the handle that cranks the window open. And I'm like, I had those handles on windows growing up, and those are removable. Like, you pop those off and they are removable. Good luck.
Yeah,
No wonder there was only one, because Robin fell to
They also had a
death.
death wish for being in this movie.
Oh my god, they're like, let's just go out the window. Like, we could take the elevator, but on the off chance that everybody outside could see us climbing down.
No, they're gonna spend the next
That's
hour and a half
inconspicuous.
climbing down this building.
And then what about, like, how do you undo your rope when you get to the bottom? Like, are there just all these ropes all throughout the city of
Yeah,
windows? Is that their
Yep.
calling card?
Yep.
Yeah. Man, maybe they're like the largest purchasers of bat rope.
Bat rope.
Yeah. Like Samson rope. Bat rope.
All right, David. What's your closing sentiment about this movie?
I'm glad that we had a chance to talk about it, because at first I was like, I don't think I'd recommend this to anyone else. But after talking to you, I was like, yeah, I think I will again, actually. Because for this project, we couldn't talk about it. That was really hard. And I couldn't say like all these little spoilers and talk to you through the movie. Like, the only way we made it through the movie was we looked at each other periodically and was like, oh my God, you seeing this shit? And I'm like, yeah, I'm seeing this shit. So I think I would recommend it to somebody else to watch again, but it'd have to be the right circumstance. And it's a hard one to make it through, honestly.
I legitimately thought about turning it off.
Yeah. But then you wouldn't have had such rich discussion.
Yeah, okay. I would also recommend this movie just because I want people to suffer as much as I do.
Yeah, that's pretty masochistic.
If for no other reason,
Be like,
which there is none.
yeah, maybe what's his face? Adam West is still getting royalty checks every time somebody watches it. He's getting like 3 cents. He's getting checks in the mail for 3 cents. He's getting checks in the mail for less than the postage that it costs to send him.
Probably.
Yeah. Oh man, that was rough though.
Yep.
And I was tired too. I was just like, oh my god.
Well, I wasn't tired going into it, but I was tired coming out of it.
It's a life suck. Well, I'm going to start referring and going home and labeling everything bat this or bat that.
Bat this, bat that.
Yeah. But instead of this or that, I'm just going to label what it is. Like bat diaper genie, bat left shoe,
Bat baby.
bat baby, bat wife.
All right. Well,
Same bat time, same bat channel.
talk to you again next bat time.
Oh boy. Maybe not.